The Atlanta Braves dropped the series finale to the Boston Red Sox 3-1 because Garrett Crochet looked dominant and the Braves' bats did not. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. Jake Mastriani's out. He's with his family over the weekend. He'll be back on Tuesday for the start of that Arizona matchup. We'll get to those starters and all that in a few minutes. But I want to talk about Atlanta's 3-1 loss to the Boston Red Sox. This was frustrating. And not frustrating from the perspective of you, like Garrett Crochet is a good pitcher. And I think he deserves, we need to acknowledge that he is not only a good pitcher, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball, right? 1.98 ERA after this game. That is 8th best among qualified starters in Major League Baseball. Garrett Crochet is undeniably a very good pitcher. At the same time, Atlanta's offense was bad today. Not below average, not poor. Atlanta's offense was bad today. And there was a little bit of, yes, there was some up-show stuff. Tony Randazzo was not great. He did have some weird calls, especially to Marcell Ozuna. Olsen had some issues there. But Atlanta's offense was not good. And they had multiple opportunities to score runs. And outside of the Marcell Ozuna solo shot in the first, they just didn't really do it. And I think it's kind of a microcosm of what this team has done all year, right? You look at the 4th inning, okay? Atlanta opens the 4th inning, the bottom of the 4th. Matt Olson doubles. They're down 3-1 right now. Matt Olson doubles. Ozzie Albies hits a line drive single to Wilyer Abreu, but it's not deep enough for Olsen to come in and score. So he's on 3rd. Sean Murphy then strikes out. I've got some thoughts on Sean Murphy in just a second. Let's not get ahead of ourselves on this one here. And then Atlanta does the thing that we've been complaining that they don't do enough of or do very well. Ozzie steals second base. So they get a guy in motion against Crochet, somebody with a bigger leg lift, which takes the double play out of order. Because once Murphy strikes out, now you're in a situation of double play within the inning. So Ozzie steals second base. Very good thing there. Eli White hits a shallow pop fly to second base. They called it a fly out on Game Center. It was really a pop fly. It was a pop out. Not deep enough to bring Olsen in. Michael Harris strikes out and only swings at one ball out of the zone. So improvement. He only sees 2 pitches out of the zone, and he swings at one of them, and it's both down and away, a sweeper there from Crochet to Harris. So you waste a scoring opportunity there. Not a Noble Tiger, because a Noble Tiger is bases loaded and no outs. This was 1 base open and 1 out, but still, you waste a scoring opportunity there. And then the Braves turn around and do it again, where the very next inning, Nick Allen walks. Ronald Acuna Jr. grounds out, which throws Nick Allen out. Not a very well hit ball. It was a cutter at the bottom of the zone, but it's like 82 miles an hour. So they get Allen at second. They can't get Ronald at first. Campbell doesn't do a great job with the turn. But after this, Austin Riley flies out, leaves a runner on first. Marcell Ozuna singles. Just a bad kind of play by Christian Campbell or by Wilyer Abreu, whatever. Puts Ronald on 3rd. Matt Olson grounds out to first, I think. Another poorly hit ball. It was a cutter. It was a cutter away. And he pulls it at like 72 miles an hour. So maybe if he hits that ball hard, maybe it gets past first base. Who knows? But another situation where you waste a scoring opportunity. And for the game, Atlanta is 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position and leaves 7 guys on base. There's a note, in the chat here from Duval87. Can't leave guys on base and expect to win. Absolutely correct. And a lot of credit does go to Garrett Crochet. Like, let's be clear. He is a very, very good pitcher. He throws, what is this? He throws 99 pitches. He gets 20 whiffs, another 10 called strikes. He gets 8 whiffs on the cutter. A cutter is not typically a huge whiff pitch, but he gets more whiffs on the cutter than anything else. 8 on the cutter, 7 on the four-seam fastball, 5 on the sweeper. And I've seen a couple people have some issues. This is on Brave social media. Have a couple issues with Sean Murphy, right? For struggling like he did. Sean Murphy goes 0 for 3. He strikes out 3 times. He does draw a walk there in the 9th against a different pitcher. But Sean Murphy is in his career, in his Braves career, he has never been good against cutters. In his Braves career prior to today, 175 average, 375 slug. His 3 outs, foul tip off a cutter, swinging through a cutter, swinging through a cutter. So they did a good job of scouting. And I say that because you remember Sean Murphy got 2 hits off of Crochet last time they faced. Those were both fastballs. The Braves as a team don't seem to be very, very good against cutters. This is obviously, you see that today. They struggle. We have had a couple, there's been some really poor performances from guys who had been hot for a good portion of the year. It is about time to have the conversation about if you want to contend, you've got to figure out something for left field, right? Eli White goes 0 for 4 today. That brings his average for the season down to 244. Ronald Acuna Jr. is one of the best hitters in baseball. Garrett Crochet made him look like not a good hitter today. Ronald goes 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Crochet is very, very good. But you get Nick Allen back. He goes 0 for 1. He walks twice. That's the most inexplicable stat line of the day to me, is Nick Allen draws 2 walks. The entire rest of the roster combined draws 1, and that was the Sean Murphy in the 9th. So just kind of weird how that happens. But just the point is, very frustrating day for the offense. And I feel like we've talked about this ad nauseum now. I don't know how you fix it. And somebody here in the chat had a good thing here. It's like, yes, Crochet's a good pitcher, but aren't the Braves supposed to be very good hitters? They are. And that's why this is so frustrating. And they've hit very good pitchers this year. Opening series, they gave Michael King some fits. They gave Dylan Cease some fits. They have hit very good pitchers this year. And then, it's either something where the Braves will hit a good pitcher and then struggle against a bad one, or they will struggle against the good pitcher and then sometimes also struggle against the bad one. This is now a season and a half of underperformance, or season and a third of underperformance by this team. I don't really know how you fix it. I know we've talked about, I know we've said it over and over again. I'm at that point. I don't know how you fix this other than these guys have to be better. In just a minute, we'll talk about what might happen, some changes that might come. Let's also talk about Bryce Elder because he's getting a lot of hate and I don't think it's warranted. We'll do that next right here on the Braves Postcast. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. If you love cracking open every shell, they have the in-shell options. That's the classic favorite. If you're on a road trip, something like that, you need just convenience and grab and go, they have a no-shell variety. Tons of ways to eat pistachios. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Shout out to everybody who loves the pistachio ad there. I want to, real quick, somebody asked in here, I think it was Steven in the chat, how come Jake gets every other weekend off and you're here every post game? Jake's job is officially Locked On Braves. My job is the Postcast. Jake's actually not required to be on the Postcast, and most team shows, the team host does not come and do the postcast as well. Jake just loves talking Braves and loves you guys, and we're friends. And so he comes on to do the postcast. Sometimes he's available. He's busy with family, so he's not on here. My job is to do the postcast. His job is to do Locked On Braves. So I'm incredibly grateful every time that I have him here to talk Braves with me. Jake's insights are fantastic, but I just kind of wanted to explain because somebody asked. He's not required to be on all of them. He just chooses to because he loves you guys and wants to talk about it. Okay. I noticed that Bryce Elder gets a little bit of hate. And I thought that today he was fine, right? Bryce Elder was not great by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. Bryce Elder goes 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. But the first inning was obviously the big problem for Bryce Elder. When you go back and you kind of pull this, he gets a ground out of Jarren Duran to start the game off. Raffy Devers doubles. I am so tired of seeing that dude play against the Braves. We are done with him for the season now. Elder rebounds to get a strikeout, but from there, single, walk, bases clearing double, and then he gets a ground out. Okay. After the first inning, he only allows 3 hits and 2 walks the entire rest of the way. All 4 runs of this game were scored in the first inning. The difference in Garrett Crochet and Bryce Elder is Elder allowed 3, Crochet allowed 1. Crochet struck out 12, Elder struck out 4. And a lot of people were frustrated about, 1, that Bryce Elder was starting, period, and that 2, he gave up the 3 runs. 5 innings, 3 runs. Listen, that is the job of a 5th starter. When Bryce Elder left this game in the 6th inning, Atlanta was still in this game. They could have come back and won. That is the most that you can realistically ask of a 5th starter. And I do think there are some people who saw how good he was in 2023, the first half of the year, right? The all-star selection, and kind of got this idea of who Bryce Elder is, when we clearly saw down the stretch then and last year, he's not that guy. But Bryce Elder did enough to win this game. I thought, Enyel De Los Santos comes out. He looks really good. He gets a strikeout. He gets his 2 outs. You then turn around. Aaron Bummer covers 2 innings, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. This is the the Aaron Bummer that we've been talking about. This is the Aaron Bummer that we've been seeing and that a lot of the advanced numbers say he should be. And for some reason, it hasn't translated now for more than a season. It hasn't translated on the field. This is that version of Aaron Bummer. He looked pretty dominant. Again, 5 strikeouts in 2 innings, 1 hit, and he only threw under 30 pitches to do it. So looked very good. Raisel Iglesias gets the 9th. It did not matter. He got 2 strikeouts, non-save situation. There you go. But this all comes back, and I've seen a couple people in the chat agreeing with me on this. This all comes back to the offense, right? Bryce Elder took the loss in this one because he was the pitcher on record when the winning run scored. But Bryce Elder did not lose Atlanta this game. The Atlanta Braves offense lost the game because, again, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They left 7 on base, and 3 different players left runners in scoring position with 2 outs. That is why the Braves lost this game. And when you look at the standings, I haven't checked to see if every other early game is finished or not. But as of right now, time of this live stream, the Braves are 27-31. They are behind the Washington Nationals. The Braves are 9.5 games back. The Washington Nationals are 8.5 games back. So you're a game behind Washington. You are 3 games ahead of the Miami Marlins. They are 12.5 games back. And there were people early this year who were saying the Braves were going to finish in last place. And I thought that was a little bit of crazy talk. And I don't think until just 20 seconds ago, I realized Atlanta's 3 games back of Miami for last place in the division. We've talked about this before. The schedule's about to get a lot harder, right? You already had to face, you faced Philly. This is a tough stretch of the schedule. Atlanta has to do more. Some of these guys, like the entire offense, just about everybody has to do more. Michael Harris has to do more. He has to at least put the ball in play when there's runners in scoring position. And if they don't, this is going to be a very long season. Do us a favor. If you're listening to this show on audio, leave a 5-star review, Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to both Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. I tried to manifest a win today. It didn't work. We're going to do that again. We're going to try that again for the upcoming series against the Braves. Against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That is something where you get Spencer Strider pitching on Tuesday. He will face off against Zach Gallen. Chris Sale versus Merrill Kelly on Wednesday. Brandon Pfaadt versus Grant Holmes on Thursday. Brandon Pfaadt just didn't get out of the first inning last night. Didn't record an out. Allowed, I think, 16 Nationals to come to the plate in the first inning. So Atlanta has the pitching lined up to counter the strength of the Diamondbacks, to take down Zach Gallen with Spencer Strider. Merrill Kelly's not as good as Chris Sale. Grant Holmes, I think, is equivalent to Brandon Pfaadt right now. The Braves are lined up for this series. We'll see what happens. Until next time, I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.